Doctor, please tell us more about digital literacy.
Thank you very much for that question. In trying to enlighten us on the concept and the content, perhaps the characteristics of digital literacy, the context of literacy have been within the parameters of those who can read and those who can write. Just as the lawyers will always say, if you don't belong to the class, you are unlearned. But I'm here to say today that without digital literacy, you may not appropriately be classified as being literate as such. The reason is the era of reading and writing as the only vernacular, as the only means of defining literacy has actually gradually going into extinction. So your ability to use digital devices, manipulate digital devices, and perhaps the things you should have done ordinarily with your normal papers and your normal activity, you are able to proceed to utilize the devices that are available, the tools that are available, and within the digital space, you are able to, take advantage of those things ordinarily you would have done in a normal platform. You can now use the digital tools to do them, and at that time, at that level, you could be classified to be digitally literate. That means when you have your computer, you have your phones, you have all the devices that are referred to as digital tools, and you're able to efficiently, effectively operate, use them, not only using them, but use them to accomplish your desired intention, your desired purpose, your desired service, access services, manipulate services, and even share services, then you could also be referred as one who is digitally literate in that context. There are various classifications. Perhaps if you have come across our digital literacy framework in terms of purely making efforts to see how we can have a particular uniformity in trying to describe who a digital literate person is, and the things and the competencies you need to have to be able to be formally to be defined as a digital literate person is actually found in that digital literacy framework. The National Digital Literacy Framework, what the government has developed as a general guideline in defining and operating and actually classifying competencies for digital literacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aristotle. So over to you, Barrister Osita Oparaugo. Please tell us how practical it is to achieve 70% digital literacy level in Nigeria.
So in Nigeria and in all over Africa, because we are Pan-African, we believe very strongly that digital literacy level of 70% and above can be achieved. It is very practical. It has been achieved in so many other countries. Estonia has a very high digital literacy level, Japan too. India even has also a very high digital literacy level. But it is not what you wish by saying it. You have to take very proactive, intentional steps towards achieving a high digital literacy level. So for a country like Nigeria, and this is one of the discussions that is ongoing between us and NITDA, I can tell you that yes, digital literacy is possible to achieve 70% in Nigeria, but you have to look at it beyond the framework at which digital literacy is developed globally. You have to look at the challenges. So for a country like Nigeria to achieve a high digital literacy level, first you have to think in which language are you teaching that. So the tools to teach digital literacy will include, of course, language. So you have to create reading materials in various languages, teaching materials in various languages. You have to have ambassadors across all sectors. So for the sake of this conversation, you have to bring in the market people. So if you want to teach digital literacy, you have to consider the people in the rural areas. So you have to have what we classify and need to understand that as well. It's also part of the framework, what is called like competence areas. So what are the competence areas? Which areas do you think that affects digital literacy framework? You get them. Once it is classified, you create your content to teach those areas. And you have to understand also that there are so many other issues that are involved in teaching them. So you're talking about digital literacy, that means first you've called it digital, then the other one you've called it literacy. So being digital, you have to look at the digital space. You cannot teach digital literacy in a country like Nigeria if you don't have access to the internet. Now, in places where you don't have access to the internet, how can you teach digital literacy in those areas? So you now begin to look at the churches or the mosques or the organizations or the market women. So there are so many factors that can come into play. So what I'm saying is that digital literacy, to achieve 70% digital literacy for Nigeria is possible. It can be achieved, but you have to look at all the competency areas and look at also all the collaboration that you must bring in place for you to be able to, for it to happen. For the sake of this conversation, let's look at it like this, right? So, yesterday, I think it was our IT people that went to Ikeja to buy a card, right, for the camera. And they said that the market doesn't open until 12 o'clock. So they do like somebody is a cleaning up or something that they do in the market area. Now, imagine if we collaborate with the market leaders and if every Thursday they open at 12 o'clock, we come there by 11. After 11, they're shut down. We teach them just one aspect of digital literacy. You see, we have taken out the infrastructure need. We have taken out the internet need at the point. We have taken out a whole lot of obstacles or difficulties that make digital literacy a problem to penetrate around Africa. So we go to the market, we take the teaching to the market. You understand? So between that 11 o'clock and 12, that 1 hour window, we can teach them how to use USSD. Tell them what USSD is, how to use it, and how to do transactions. We can teach them an aspect of cybersecurity, which is, of course, safety, which is part of it. So a very strong component of digital literacy. But at that point, they didn't have to have internet for them to learn it. They didn't have to have light for them to learn it. We brought teaching to them. So what I'm saying is that, yes, it is possible to achieve 70% digital literacy in Nigeria, but you have to look at all the components. What makes it possible? What eliminates difficulties and the challenges that we face as a people in Nigeria and across Africa? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Osita Oparaugo. So coming back to you, sir. Well, an issue has been raised about infrastructure. For infrastructure being one of the major factors mitigating against the promotion of digital literacy in Nigeria. How will NITDA provide some what advocacy measures is NITDA going to pursue towards the provision of better infrastructure with respect to digital services, which are your core area?
Thank you very much for that question. The issue of digital infrastructure is not only a challenge in Nigeria, it's an African challenge. If you look at researches, again, it should be an inhibiting factor as well. Why do I say that? When you collaborate and when you partner, the purpose of partnership and collaboration is to leverage on expertise and also share resources. Now, having said that, you will agree with me that if we are going to achieve the 70% digital literacy, yes, infrastructure appears to be a challenge, but not an insurmountable challenge. We can take advantage of what we have at present and also continue to scale. I want to tell you that across the 774 local government areas in Nigeria, I doubt if there are no local governments where NITDA has a presence, especially in the provision of our e-learning spaces. That is number one. And number two, there are other government agencies also that have presence in terms of some of the digital infrastructures across the Nigerian Federation, which also we can also leverage on. Having said that, I'm also aware there is a 774 program that is going across the 774 local government area in Nigeria, where it's a fiber program where internet infrastructure is being provided through some of the government services, government service providers, to the local government. And in that case, the agency as NITDA comes with a combo package where they put digital tools for people to access to use within the context of this framework of 774 model. Again, there are many other services, especially there are other private NGOs who are also working or doing one thing or the other within the local government areas in Nigeria, which also we intend and we also partner with them to ensure that we overcome the challenge of lack of digital infrastructure that we want to inhibit this particular goal of achieving 70% digital literacy by the year 2027. So there are multiple avenues that we intend to leverage on, while the superstructure will continue to evolve in terms of development. But I really do not believe from our own side that some of this infrastructural problem is going to be a hindrance, because there are multiple layers and multiple approaches through which you can use to navigate the issue of infrastructure and also get these services delivered to a common man, which is our target. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A resounding round of applause. So now the next question has to do with public-private sector collaborations, because we know that has always been the hallmark of the Nigerian government, because we know government will not be able to do everything together, everything alone. So it's always a better win-win situation when the public and private sectors come together. So, Aristotle Oparaugo, how will GetBundi support NITDA and indeed the public sector in the enhancement of the levels of digital literacy in Nigeria?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. So government is government, right? And they do the business of government. So the private sector, us as an EdTech platform, we do the business of educating people in this space. So there's a whole lot that we can cover, right? And there's a very strong possible connection between NITDA, GetBundi, and of course, so many other EdTech platforms in massifying digital literacy in reaching or trying to get to a critical mass. So what is there for the sake of this discussion, right? And I think Dr. knows, maybe if you don't know, Doctor, I tell you, GetBundi is sitting on Amazon Cloud. GetBundi is robustly engineered in the United States, and this platform can take 10, 20 million Africans at the same time and not shake. So this infrastructural partnership is what we can bring to a government agency like NITDA. If you want to train 50 million Nigerians, for instance, we can say to NITDA, you know what, we house the educational content, right, on our platform, right? So we partner with a government agency like NITDA, right? And then they leverage our technology and our platform to reach the critical mass. So in the area of education or the post-primary education system that I mentioned earlier, imagine where UNICEF or UNESCO, have said that Africa needs 9.5 million teachers in the next 10 years to be able to educate the number of people that are in Africa, and that of course will get to post-primary school age. It is not easy to create 9.5 million teachers, but it is easy for GetBundi to do the work of 9.5 million teachers because we can hold 21 live classes simultaneously at the same time. Meaning, if we have 21 live classes simultaneously at the same time on a platform, it can teach what 9.5 million teachers will teach. Do you get? So for NITDA, we have a platform that can help NITDA reach the 75% digital literacy level. We have a platform that can support the digital transformation across Nigeria and indeed across Africa. We are open for partnership. We are discussing with NITDA, we are discussing with so many organizations in Nigeria and across Africa for partnership. So many other countries, Zambia has shown great interest, Zimbabwe great interest, and we're in Malawi, and we're talking across Africa. And we hope that they understand that government has to do the business of government. Platforms like us do the business of platform. There has to be a synergy coming together so that we can reach the critical mass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Osita Oparaugo. I believe you've done justice to the matters at hand. So we proceed to the next question, and this goes to Dr. Aristotle. Please tell us more about how NITDA plans to secure the digital space as more people engage in online transactions.
Thank you very much. I think that is very, very critical for us in the sense that, you know, you can walk into a bank and you not have fear in your mind as you're inside the bank as such that anybody is going to take your money from you. Bank is a physical building and it's a physical space. And before we get to that level of that kind of maturity that you can walk into a physical space and you just have that confidence, you may not even see any policeman at all within the inside the banking hall, but you just have that confidence in you that you can carry your money in a bag and go and make deposit and nobody's going to take it away from you. Now, it took a lot of time to build that kind of confidence. So what we are looking at, we want to see a cyberspace where he who said whom he is truly whom he is. You create a space for the safety of digital transactions, and also to make efforts to mitigate every form of digital crime that may want to arise, and also to create necessary awareness. Ordinarily, you don't give people you don't just give anybody you see your access to your account number, or you don't just do that. You don't do that. You don't give anybody your identity so that they can have access to your physical account details in your bank. So also, you must understand that if you are online, there are some elementary ethics and cyber hygiene that you also need to understand, so that you don't just, because you're online, you just open up yourself and deliver everything that is traceable to your own personal identity, to every other person, to mitigate that area. Now, apart from creating awareness, we, like I said earlier, we have a strategic focus on enhancing cybersecurity and building digital trust. And in that regard, like I said, we are working with other relevant stakeholders to come up with a regulation and framework for the operation of public key infrastructure, which we believe is something that will enhance the safety of digital transactions. Not only that, we are also collaborating with other other SATs across the globe to ensure that we mitigate and also create adversary role in terms of cyber attacks. Sometimes some of those advice that we give will help you to understand that this is the nature of the attack, or this is the nature of the activity of the criminals in the cyber world. It also helps individuals themselves to be able to take care and have the elementary understanding about some of the cyber hygiene. Awareness is very critical. Putting a robust infrastructure to help us to manage the entire cyberspace is also very critical. And we are all working towards that, so that by 2027, we will have achieved the high level, to a level of 50% in terms of managing and ensuring that our cyberspace is also free for us to conduct our digital transactions.
Thank you very much, Doctor. You nailed it. So, over to you, Fireside, Osita Oparaugo. GetBundi. That's your second name, GetBundi. So, how are you planning to expand the frontiers as regards your product and services offering to the various components of the Nigerian government?
Okay, so each time you say Nigerian government, then I say Africa, because you already called me GetBundi, right? And Bundi is an African word. So it's a Swahili word for smart, knowledge, or wisdom. So the same question I will answer for Nigeria, I will answer for the whole of Africa, for the sake of our platform, and then of course my personal belief as a Pan-African. Okay, so having said that, right, it's all about collaboration. So in the EdTech space, you cannot do it alone. We are open to collaborate with government. We are open to collaborate with government agencies. We are open to collaborate with private agencies as well, private companies, foundations, NGOs, so many of them across Africa doing exceptional work. In fact, 2 months ago, I met with this lady from Uganda, and she has trained over 40,000 people in Uganda in various skill sets. She's doing an awesome work out of Uganda, and we are talking. We have just recently signed an undertaking to support the foundation in Zimbabwe with the training of 1,000 people over the 6 months. We are open to collaboration, and we think that in this way we will reach a number of people and will support what we call the GetBundi initiative. Because most of these people have the numbers. You know, on Sunday, just this Sunday, we were at the State House in Abuja on the invitation of Her Excellency, the wife of the President, as the DG, NITDA, and the wife of the President launched the for all initiative. And right in that room, we were able to meet with 3 or 4 organizations who support education and digital transformation across Nigeria and indeed across Africa. And 2 of them has actually materialized into, a strong discussion for us, okay? So we are here to give a service. And the service that we are here to give is a service that requires everyone in this room, beyond the government, to be part of what we are creating, right? Like this gentleman sitting over there, he's doing an amazing work with his American partners. You may not know, but during COVID, there was this company in the US that did what is called digital twin. If you enter into America and they take your fingerprint, they will definitely tell you wherever you are at any time during that pandemic era. That company is coming into Africa. They are doing so many in the telemedicine area, and that is their representative in the whole of Africa, sitting right over there. An engineer sitting right over there. We're discussing with him to do a whole lot, leveraging our platform to educate people in the telemedicine space. So there are so many other things that are coming out of so many partnerships with NGOs and organizations, and I think that the head of our foundation will talk more about some other things and the collaborations that is ongoing. So yes, for NITDA, we are open to work with NITDA, we are open to work with other government agencies in Nigeria and across Africa, and we are also open to work with foundations. I've just seen someone who will connect me back to my friends, the prof and his family, and I also know that in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we will be looking at how we can support women with what we are doing with our Texas initiative. And the Texas initiative is geared towards promoting only women. It's a reversal of the pro that you hear out there. We have turned it into a Texas. Last year, we trained 500 women for free. In coding this year, I think we are training over 1,000 women in web development and data analytics for free. So there's a whole lot that we're doing in all borders of collaboration, collaborating with government and government agencies, collaborating with NGOs, donor agencies, developmental agencies, and of course, the Deputy High Commissioner of Canada was here. We are looking at that as well. We're talking to several other foreign governments. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Osita. Once again, you are proven capacity and sagacity in the tech space. And thank you very much, Director, Dr. Aristotle. So with this ends this panel session, and it's really a pleasure and a privilege to have two giants on the panel. Thank you very much.
Questions? Okay.
Okay, so we're having the Q&A session. Pardon me. So we're having the Q&A session. Questions, please.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good afternoon. I have listened with a lot of rapt attention to the work that NITDA is doing, and of course, we are very familiar with the work that NITDA is doing. And so I have 2 questions, one to each of the panel. The first is going to Dr. Aristotle. In your keynote address, you did talk about the 5 areas in which NITDA is pioneering certain projects and initiatives in Nigeria. And you did say that you were really tapping on rich millions. And so my question is to ask you, sir, what are the assets or infrastructures that partners can leverage on? You did say that you have infrastructure in 704 local governments. So could you share what they are, where they are, so we can also tap into that? That's question one. Question two is to Mr. Osita, and I'm just curious. GetBundi, we've heard about it all morning, and maybe the next part of the point would be in terms of getting involved. Is it a paid program for people to access the platform or get educated on it? Or is it free? It's good to know so that we can also mobilize people towards the platform. Thank you.
Okay, let me attempt to provide a guided answer to the question from our sister, and incidentally, they are among those that we have been working with, and we also intend to work with. Our question is centered on the physical infrastructure, which I spoke about in my very few remarks. Yes, we have what we call digital economy centers. And these digital economy centers, as the case may be, though it can be represented e-learning, NITDA learning centers or digital skill learning centers. Now, it is in most cases you will find them in local governments, or sometimes you find them in schools, and then across the federation, across the 704 local government areas in the federation. You can find them in schools. Sometimes you find them in local government headquarters, or you find them in designated community centers. Now, these learning spaces that we are talking about have computers. They have computers. Some of them have internet. Because what NITDA does in terms of providing some of this infrastructure in local government is to enhance and also to ensure that especially internet access and other IT services reach out to some of our rural areas that wouldn't have had any opportunity to enjoy such services ordinarily. So that's where those centers are located. You can reach us in terms of specific areas. Perhaps we are interested in doing something, or we are interested in leveraging on those infrastructures, especially what I've just mentioned. You can reach us in the office. We'll be able to provide you with specific locations and perhaps contact addresses how you can reach out to those locations, and also perhaps engage further in terms of how the discussions are going to go in terms of managing and taking advantage of those services. Yes, they are there. Just contact us, reach out to us in the office, and we'll be able to discuss with you and share maybe the location, the contact persons. And if there are some that are already people are taking advantage of already, and also let you know about that, and let you see how both of us can collaborate and stream and massify this concept of digital literacy across Nigeria. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your question. So we have a business model. Our business model is subscription on demand. So the STEM, we have the STEM, which covers the 6 years of post-primary education. And in covering the 6 years of post-primary education, the platform has 6,000 multiple choice questions. So in each of the secondary school year, you have 1,000 multiple choice questions. Like I said, that the platform is robustly engineered. Our platform is engineered in a way that, let's say you have a boy, right? So your son is junior, right? And you're going to work and you're junior. When you come back from school, watch 12 videos, right? 6 in English, 6 in mathematics, let's say it's in SS4, and you come back. So you don't need to ask, oh, junior, did you do it or not? You just go back to our platform, click on junior's profile, goes to his dashboard, and our platform will be able to tell you when he logged in, when he logged out, how many videos he watched, how many of the multiple choice questions he attempted, whether he passed, whether he failed. You'll be able to follow it from there. In fact, our platform is engineered in a way that it can also respond with you and be able to send you emails. We are working with our developers now to integrate AI into our platform, so you can also ask our platform question wherever you are of how your son is doing on our platform, and our platform will be able to reply that to you. That is on post-primary education. And in that post-primary education, which is the secondary school, we also have daily live tutorials, right? So we don't want parents bringing people, into their homes anymore. It is good, but sometimes also it's very bad. I may not tell you of the experiences we've had people talk to us about what foreigners or strangers do in the name of home tutors, right? So we have created what we call the GetBundi secondary school community. So if you have kids who are in SS1, for instance, right? Every day between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. every day, apart from Sundays, right? We have daily tutorial on our platform. Okay, so in that way, you don't need to bother about bringing multiple teachers to your home. You can have one teacher, 2, 3 teachers teach your kids online. They don't need to go out of your house, right? If you haven't also got the money to do that, the platform is there open. It's just 5,000 naira a month. Your kids will have access to our platform, multiple choice questions and everything that they need there. So you either do the monthly one without live class, or you do the one with the live class, depending on your project and how it intends to run. And you guys, I know you guys are a foundation. You can come to us as a foundation and say, Osita, you know what, let's get into partnership. We have 20 secondary schools in Ebonyi State or in Niger State to train. So all you do, pay us, maybe probably a subsidized price for 20 schools. We will deliver our service to that 20 schools. So do you get? So in that way, I know you can support 20 people. You can come to us. So like the Venerable over there, right? So Venerable can come to us and say, you know what? We have 20 rich people in our church. We get these 20 rich people in our church to give us 1 million naira each, and 20 of them will give 20 million, and this 20 million we give it to GetBundi, and we say, GetBundi, offer your service to all the secondary school kids who belong to families who come to this church. That is part of the service that we do. So I hope that before you guys leave, after you eat that beautiful cake, my cousin and his wife and their son Greg brought for me, and for my team, beautiful team. I have amazing people, very young. I'm the oldest in the team. So after you eat our cake, I hope before you leave, you are able to sponsor 1 million people, so GetBundi will make money. Thank you very much.
Questions.
So the first question is to NITDA. You are aware that we are working with you on the National Digital Literacy Framework to transform, the Nigerian populace. But I have a concern. With your target as NITDA to reach 95%, if I'm correct, by 2030. So my question is, how do you intend to do this, given the fact that Nigerians are resistant to change? In this case, let's be realistic. How many of us are ready to transform? So how do you intend to do that as NITDA? Then my other question is to Osita. Your indigenization is very fantastic. I'm an advocate for it, and I'm very happy. So my question is, how is your platform open to take other courses apart from what you do currently? Is your platform open to take other courses? Because as of now, we are also developing a digital skills for entrepreneurship course, particularly for women and youth.
by GIZ. So I'm already thinking of how to bring all of this together. So if your platform is able to do that, please let us know so we can carry on with the conversation. Then my comment now is that because we don't want to reinvent the wheel, so many people are already doing things in this space. So this curriculum we are developing, we also want to test, the acceptability of it, how people relate to it. So I want to use this opportunity to invite everybody, if you're interested, to a validation workshop. So if you're interested in joining that validation workshop, I'm still here after the program, so we can enrich as much as possible what we are trying to do with digitalization in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, GIZ. That's a very we are one of our strong partners in this journey of digital transformation. Thank you for that question. The question of how. Yes, the program is the proclamation is a laudable one. Our intention, long-term intention, is to achieve that 95% by the year 2030, and we have a midterm target, which I have emphasized, of achieving 75% data literacy by 2027. Now the question is how, and that question is anchored on our natural instinct, which is human instinct to resistance to change. But I want to put this question across. I'm not sure any one of us is created to fly. Naturally, humans are not created to fly. But today, we enter aeroplane. Am I right? No one will want to say, I want to trek from here to Abuja because I resist change. Now, where I'm putting that across to us is that in as much as it appears that human resists change by nature, I say use the word appears, but it discovered that when it becomes a necessity, no matter the level of intended resistance, it feels away. Before now, when NIM came up, it was difficult for people to register and go and take their NIM. But when it becomes an imperative, a necessity, and it becomes a condition for those who want to go and do their JAM, I'm not sure that anybody could write JAM now without having the NIM number. So the people who want to write JAM, nobody's going to come to them now to give them NIM. They will have to go themselves to go and register and get the NIM. Now, apart from the various initiatives that we have at the moment, in terms of encouraging the people, encouraging the masses to take advantage and get themselves digitally literate, we are also working on working the Federal Ministry of Education so that we can mainstream digital literacy curriculum into the overall teaching process and developmental process of our educational system. What that means is, by the time you have spent 6 years in primary schools, 6 years in secondary school, you should have been digitally literate enough to play around with every form of digital tool and digital services that is available, because we have gone through a whole lot of the system. So when we have a new curriculum, in the long run, it becomes a part and parcel of our educational system. Now we are also doing that. Now, not only that, like I just said earlier, we have just recently launched a program that has to do with data literacy for all initiative. In that case also, we are through partners. GetBundi have said something in terms of a modular approach towards reaching out the masses. Perhaps community approach, religious approach, and also taking advantage of NGOs and those who do services. Take for instance, if we decide or we have a partner to come up to take maybe for every to get about maybe like 250 or 350 youth corpers in every local government, for instance, and if you multiply by 774, you may have close about 50,000 corpers who may be referred to as digital ambassadors. Now, if those guys are being trained and given skills and also empowered, because I hardly today you see any corper who does not have a smartphone. And if you already have a smartphone, and that means you may have been doing one form of a digital activity or the other. Now, having that smartphone will also help you at the point for you to leverage on our platform. We already have a platform. We are also partnering with other organizations, including GetBundi, to also have a digital learning platform through which we can massify this digital literacy across board. Now, if you are able to help a local farmer, for instance, you get him to understand that, because you have your farming, you have your little beans and your locality, you'll be able to get him to see how he can make someone who is staying in his the headquarters of local government to pay for that particular beans or yam that is cultivated in his village, and get that supply without him traveling, taking the risk of traveling to that place to go and supply that particular material. Now, if he does it quite and sees how easy it is, nobody will tell him that the digital platform becomes a veritable avenue, a cheaper avenue, a more secure avenue to transact business and to make his product to become more versatile. And if that goes on, and people get aware of the benefit of the such services they are going to get through digital services, I'm telling you that it will not only be that they will resist change, but they will embrace change. At the end of the day, we have ended up massifying digital literacy, creating opportunity for people to be empowered, and creating opportunity for businesses to expand. And at the end of the day, the Nigerians, the youth, the young people, and those in local areas will be the one that will benefit from it. And that's exactly why we are keenly interested in collaboration and partnership as a key strategic pillar towards driving the vision of making Nigeria a digital empowered, fostering inclusive economic development through digital innovation. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Doctor, your English is too much. Thank you very much. I like what you guys are doing at NITDA, and of course, we will continue to partner to see that the digital literacy level is achieved. So, to answer your question, yes. So you see, our platform it's designed to accommodate beyond, digital skills. Digital skills, yes, what we offer is our core offering, okay? But the entrepreneurship programs, you can see it. So we are not a website, right? GetBundi is not a website. GetBundi is a platform, is a learning management system platform. So that's why I say to you that it can sit, take 21 million people, 30, 40 million people, swallow it and stand. So you can bring your entire architecture as a company and sit it on our platform. So we give you a specific API or a channel that sits your architecture on our platform, and you can sit 1,000 videos or 2,000 videos that speak to your audience on your entrepreneurship courses. Okay, so that means whoever comes to our platform, so you just do www.getbundi.com, that brings you to our LMS space. You come into LMS space, you identify G's for the sake of this conversation, you click on it, it opens on all your courses, you do your thing, and you get out of that system, right? So yes, we do have that. We are discussing with a university in England. Reading is one of their business schools, is one of the oldest business schools in England, and in the whole of Europe as well. We are discussing with that university now to sit their entire entrepreneurship courses for Africa on our platform. So yes, I can tell you that that is very doable. Our engineers are waiting, they are open 24/7 to discuss your needs, and we can partner along that line. Thank you very much.